In this video, we are going to be covering landscaping, sculpting, creating mountains, making water, making tunnels, and finally making roads. Let's begin by opening a blank project, and we can just call it my project. It doesn't matter. As soon as you load in, you'll see something like this. To find the landscaping, you go into the top left option and choose landscaping, or you could use the hotkey Shift+2. When you're in landscaping mode, you'll notice that there's no actual land to sculpt on, so you've got to create new. Before we create new, I'm going to delete these 4 grids. So now I go back into landscape mode, and I can choose my dimensions and material. Here I'm going to look up standard, and it's going to give me the standard landscape material. After I've selected my material, I can modify the dimensions and then hit create. When I hit create, it will take a sec to load, and now we have a beautiful grassy land. This is going to be our grassy landscape we are going to be working with. In the top left, we have multiple sets of tools which we can use to modify our landscape. Sculpt is going to be the most popular one, as you can increase land mass just by painting. You can increase tool strength too, and brush size. If you don't like your landscape, you can always erase it with the erase tool. If you want to smooth rough edges, you can use the smooth tool. If you want to flatten terrain, you can use the flatten tool. If you want to create a ramp up to a high altitude or lower altitude, you can use the ramp tool. You can drag and drop, or you can click and place. And then you can modify its settings such as ramp width and fall off. When you're done adjusting your ramp, click Add Ramp. And as you can see, it has made a nice hill up to the mountain. Erosion simply gives it the effect of erosion. Hydro gives it the effect of rain. Noise adds height map to the blend layer. Visibility lets us create tunnels and caves. Let's just say I have this nice mountain right here. If I want to create a tunnel straight through the middle of it, I can click the visibility tool up here, decrease the size, because at the moment when I click on the mountain, it's going to make a massive hole. And that's all a cave is just creating holes in your landscape to then be filled and decorated to make it look like the holes aren't even there. So I'm going to use Ctrl-Z to undo my modifications, and now I'm going to decrease my brush size and now make a slight entrance. Now I'll go to where I want the tunnel to come out and do the same. So now what you can do is Shift 1 or go up here to selection mode, bring up the content drawer, go into Fortnite, and we can look for things like rocks or terrain to help us blend this hole in. I find it easier to launch my own session and then do it in Fortnite. Okay, so I've just finished sculpting out a really rough, pretty terrible cave, and here we go. So we can go through our mountain now. So back to the Unreal Editor, this is what it looks like. Obviously you can use the Unreal Editor to do all this, and I chose to do it in game just because I find the controls a little bit easier. So now that we've done landscaping, let's look at water. So you'll find water down in Fortnite's Water Blue, and here it gives us island, lake, ocean, river, and swimming pool. we'll start with using ocean. So if I drag and drop that into my world, it erases the rest of the terrain and replaces it with water, all except this one island. So if you click on a vertex and hold Alt and drag it, you'll actually create another point. And that is how you create square islands, or like, that's just how you shape your island. You can keep creating different points, dragging them to wherever you like, and see how now our island is coming together. The next type of water I'll be showing you guys is river. So river looks nicer with an ocean attached to it. So we're actually going to use our ocean water as well as our river. And we're going to just click and drag that right there. So now it's created a river with an actual flowing current that your character will be affected by in game. Similarly with the ocean, you can transform the river however you like. You can also Control Alt to create another vertex. The next one we'll use is swimming pool. When you click and drag this, you just get a flat tile of water. It has less modification options as the other ones, because when you create a new vertex, it doesn't do much. I still have yet to understand how the swimming pool works, but what I do know is that you can drag the swimming pool and scale it however you like. So let's just say I wanted to fill in this hole next to my mountain here. I could scale this up and then use my mover to place it however I like. And our swimming pool can interact with characters in Fortnite now. The next water body we'll use is lake. Lake is probably going to be the most commonly used one because it moves the terrain around it and is very flexible. It doesn't replace your entire land with an ocean, in other words. So now we have a nice lake right here. Also, to adjust corners, you just have to click on the little dot outside here, and then you can move this however you like. So now it's going to make it wider or skinnier, and we can move that over just to adjust how it swings. Okay, now the last thing we're going to add to this world is a road. Roads are quite simple once you first learn how to do it, but at first it might seem a little scary, but trust me, it gets a lot better really quick. We have to use our landscaping tools up here to do roads as well, and if you go over into manage here, we have an option called splines. This is going to be the tool we use to create roads. Now you can just start creating a road by using control, but what you should first do is create a layer for roads. So now with our unlocked layer and visible layer, we can now hold control and left click on our terrain. While still holding control, keep left clicking and you'll find you create a road. So as you can see, we've made a little mistake back here, so I'm just going to use my control undo, and now I'm going to just shape it a little better so it doesn't have that really weird intersection in it. And when we're done with our road, if we wanted to reconnect, we can just control click the first starting point, and now we have a connected road. To make this road into an actual road instead of just this green looking thing, we have to change its mesh, because at the moment it has no mesh, and so green is the default. If we click segments up here, it will highlight all of our different segments of road we created. And now we have to click on spline meshes down here and add an element, click this index, and now we can import a mesh. If you look up straight, we have a road straight static mesh here. And this is the one we're going to be using. It's the one most commonly used by other content creators as well. Yeah, so here's what it looks like. It's also cool to note that you can also put splines over landscape like this. So if we wanted to, we could go ahead and create a new spline up this hill and back down here. And after we selected the road we want to add the mesh to, we can add another spline meshes and choose road straight again. So I hope you guys learned a fair bit in this tutorial. If you did, drop a like and comment for more tutorials like this one. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.